Good evening, lamb chops. It is I, your favorite fluffy vampire, Bluma. Oh shit, I just realized, hold up, my air conditioner's still on. Oh fuck. Oh man, oh jeez. Okay. Alright. Hi guys. And I'm gonna start this off real quick here. Literally 30 seconds before I hit go live, the tornado siren started going off here. So I might have to end stream just abruptly. And I'm warning you, that's why, just in case the weather gets worse. Right now, it's very calm outside, so that just tells me and my instincts that it's gonna storm in a little bit. The sky is kind of green, so I'm a little worried. So I just thought I would warn y'all, in case I just all of a sudden have to go, okay, bye, see you next time. Like, it's just because, like, the weather's getting too bad and I don't want to risk it. Bruh, keep yourself safe. Yeah, for real, for real. But, like, I mean, that siren going off means that the severe warning tornado touchdown is like literally anywhere in the county. So it might not be near here. Like right now I don't even see any rain. It's just kind of green and there's a little bit of a breeze. Literally the calm before the storm. Exactly, bro. So I'll just have to, sorry, I realize I wig out every time I look out the window. But I'm just going to be keeping my my eyeballs kind of that way every now and then. And if we abruptly have to just end, we'll finish the chapter like Wednesday. I promise you. If we don't finish it tonight, okay? Okay, with that out of the way, let's get into this. Let's do this shit. Continue. Load that one. Okay. Take care of yourself. I will. Like I said, right now, it's completely fine outside. Like, there's even people still going by on, like, the sidewalk with their bikes and stuff. Your safety is more important, mistress. Oh, thank you. But, like, I promise you, it's okay right now. If I feel a need to quit, we will. But right now, I feel like it's fine. Like, the storm might be going around us. I know some people were saying, like, that it might have, and so I have my phone out just in case things get real bad and they start sending out alerts and stuff. But, like, I think I'll be fine. Alright, let's see. I went home and washed the day's sweat off the shower. Normally I could just reset everything by taking a shower and forgetting the bad stuff, but that didn't happen today. I got out of the shower to find fresh underwear placed neatly on the laundry basket. Normally I didn't stop to think about it, but today I felt happy about my mother's consideration. At the same time, however, it made me realize how much Satoko must be suffering. At the very moment I was appreciating his gentle kindness, Satoko might be being bruised by her uncle's cruel words. I went up to the second floor and shut myself in my bedroom. Then, facing my desk, I folded my arms. My topic of thought, of course, was Satoko. We thought that if we could just get a public agency to intervene the right way, the problem would be solved. Oh, I just realized the game's probably a little quiet. I'll turn it up a little bit. But what the coach said, I didn't think it would be so easy. A great way to start the day, Satoko being sad story. Yeah. Satoko was obstinate, and she would stubbornly deny the abuse and try to endure it. And that was the act of atonement towards Satoshi, who had protected her before and then ran away. As long as she thought that way, the situation wouldn't be so simple. But earlier before, Kochai made a declaration. If I thought Satoko was in danger, then I would do what I had to. But in the end, that meant I was just going to have to wait and see, too. Nevertheless, I thought I'd draw a clearer line than the coach with my friends had. If the time came, I would report it. Over the phone. Given Satoko's personality, she might criticize me if she found out. But I believed it was ultimately the best decision. Wait, Keiichi Maibara. Would that really be all it took for the problem to end? Say that I reported it in the public agency, like the Child Consultation Center. What if they got stuck into their wait-and-see attitude like they did last year? Last year they decided to do just that, and the situation improved temporarily, but then the aunt, thinking herself laughingstock, increased her torment in secret. And in the end, things became more underhanded than ever before. This year it was her uncle. I had just seen him for the first time today, but the man seemed much more direct, much more violent than the word underhanded could imply. He wasn't like their aunt. No, not that subtle. He was more direct. He might also assault her with punches and kicks. That could be easily discerned discerned from the bruises that I saw on Satoko's body. Shit. You're too naive, Keiji Maibara. However heroic it may seem to report that was happening, if it doesn't save her, then it doesn't mean anything. Reporting things to the public agency was only one option, and leaving everything to them would be dangerous. We would need something more to guarantee Satoko's safety. I scratched madly at my head, thinking, then tilted it back, wanting at least a little bit of calm. The memories of my angry, arguing friends of today came to mind. I was embarrassed that I hadn't realized it until Reina had said something. She was right. My house is big. Compared to all the houses and the straw-thatched roofs in Hinamizawa, it was really big. We did actually have empty rooms. I've never thought that we were affluent, but also never thought that we were poor. I just didn't admit it because people would think I was arrogant. But maybe my family really is wealthy. We had a few rooms that we could lend Satoko. The guest rooms were the only use when people related to my dad's job came to stay every once in a while. Plus, if we cleaned up a few of the rooms my dad uses for storage, they could work as her as well. The music? Yeah, right. As for food expenses, that might have been a more serious problem than a kid like me could imagine. Lunch every day would be manageable. All of our friends would just have to bring a little bit more lunch than they usually did. With everyone packing up everyone else's food away, it would be manageable. For breakfast and dinner, though, that would have been up to Mom. I would need to convince her to send Satoko more than just a room. Of course, I didn't even think about convincing her that would be easy. About how much did it cost for one person to eat? How many tens of thousands of yens per month? They couldn't complain about it if I shouldered that, could they? I only had 10 or 20,000 yen in my saving, but it was something. I actually had even more thanks to New Year's gifts and such, but my parents had taken all that and put it in a fixed time deposit. If I could get access to that, I should be able to add up a lot of money. And if I got that far, Mion and Reina would need to share some of that burden. Of course, that didn't seem like it would work. Reina got mad at me, didn't she? About how I shouldn't just shove responsibility onto others? I'd have to ask for help. Even so, I'd basically be saving her myself. I would follow through on it. Oh, but it wouldn't be only food expenses. There were a lot of other things I couldn't do without, like baths or laundry. My mother was awfully methodical and strict about cutting out inefficiencies, and for once that was troublesome. She might even make reference to the money it would cost for a detergent Stoke would use over her own clothes. I couldn't think about only food expenses. I needed more money. Hey, wait, Keiichi Maibara. Since when was all this about money? Even if you could afford it, you would need your parents' permission first. They'd be looking after a young girl for a really long time. What would I say to persuade them? Just calm down a little bit, Keiichi Maibara, and you'll realize right away that you can't. Even if you asked them seriously, they would tell you to call the police. Even if you managed to gain their empathy, why should the Maibara family have to shoulder all of the burden by itself? That's what would happen. And that was it. It was a very sad and very frustrating. But no matter how much I wanted to help, my resolution alone couldn't save anything. Are kids, are they really this powerless? I felt frustrated. I believed my feelings were stronger than anyone else's. I even thought that they were stronger than Coach's. And yet, at that point, there were 2 knocks at my door, and my mom poked her head inside. Were you awake? I've been calling you for dinner for a while. Oh, yeah, I'm coming. As someone financially dependent on his parents, I shouldn't say this, but I just sat around doing nothing and food suddenly appeared. It felt so natural to me that I shamelessly thought of it as a responsibility of my parents who had given birth to me. But when I realized the natural thing was actually a privilege, I came to realize just how hard it was to grant that privilege to others. Even the boring meal in front of me, no better than it ever was, had more meaning than that tonight. There was food for 3 on the table right now, for Dad, for Mom, and for me. For once, Keiichi's thinking logically, right? Or is he? I couldn't imagine how hard it would be to add another place at the table. Think, Keiichi Maibara. If it was hard to make food for 4, then just think about how 4 people could eat food made for 3. Oh. I changed around the way I thought, and with that I began to consider the unthinkably bold plan. That's right. I didn't need to get my parents' permission. She should just live here in secret. I got upset when I found out a while ago, but if I remembered right, if you climbed out the window and then shimmied down the first floor roof to the gutter, you could go in and out of the house directly from my room. Satoko's physical ability far surpassed my own, so it would be easy for her. I hadn't even thought about it, but her living here in secret was actually a necessity. How's that logically thinking going for you guys? Still good? Still feel good? I'd only have to bring Satoko in my house when the public agency said they would wait and see. In other words, if Satoko's uncle continued to be her guardian. If, in such a situation, word got out that she was here, her uncle would barge in and drag Satoko back with him. Her uncle was her rightful guardian, so my parents would have to hand her over without argument, no doubt. And out the window with the logical thinking. I'm still holding on to that cope, yeah? So I needed to keep it a secret. She was living here. If it needs to be a secret, then having my parents' help would mean a lot, but gotta deceive your allies first, like they always say. Okay. Persuading my parents was an unrealistic proposition, so I'll search for a way to have her live here in secret. When I was around, she would just have to be really quiet in my room on the second floor. The issue was daytime. If she was hiding from her uncle, then she shouldn't go to school. It might be lonely, but not going there would be a better option. I could easily teach Satoko the stuff she learns in her grade. Actually, during school, I mostly helped younger kids out rather than studying my own stuff. During the day, I would need to go to school, so I wouldn't be at home. My parents respected my privacy now, and I was at that age, so they wouldn't go snooping around my room while I was gone, I think. If she holed herself up in my room, it would be okay, right? If my parents did come, thanks to where the second floor was, she could hear their approach from the sound of them coming up the stairs. There would be a little bit of time before they got all the way up. I estimated a few seconds. Now she would be able to hide herself in the closet. Wait, Keiji. Something doesn't make sense. If she can't go to school, then what'll she do for lunch? Calm down already. I could just leave her my room lunch, couldn't I? I could just go to school without lunch and get everyone else to split theirs with me. Yeah, that's good. No more contradictions or oversights, right? Oh, breakfast and dinner. I could somehow get her to go without breakfast. I can go with 2 meals a day when I sleep on Sundays, after all. Every night, I pretend as though I had a bigger appetite, then I'd ask for a bigger helping. And then, I could just somehow give part of that to Satoko. As a test. I stood up from my seat with a plate of fish in my hands. What's wrong, Keiichi? Sit down and eat your food. Oh, well, I'm kinda not in a good mood. Could I eat in my room? You'll make a mess. Eat dinner at the dinner table. Sorry. Hey, wait. I only tried to take away 1 plate of fish, and they ganged up on me. In reality, it was impossible for me to smuggle food away without my parents knowing about it. But it must have been worth taking the time to think about. There must be some trick, some method to avoid them realizing. Even if I can't think of one today, I might think of one tomorrow. My appetite was rapidly fading, so I finished early and went back to my room. I don't think Keiji knows ganged up on me means, right? Literally that I came here to have a good time and I'm feeling so attacked right now. Ooh. I went back there and tried to think about it from Satoko's point of view. For example, let's say my parents are coming up the stairs right now, and I've got to hide. I opened the closet, clatter, clatter. It didn't open quietly. Hey, wait, didn't it always open really smooth and quiet? In a fight, right? Why is it suddenly doing this now? What is this, a faulty house? Had it already gotten old or something? Or was I just not putting enough work into it? Could I just plaster it with wax? The sound itself, it may have been soft, but it left an uneasy as to whether my parents would detect it happening when they climbed the stairs. But this was an easy problem. I could do something about it. I just had to fix it up a little bit so they didn't make noise anymore. For now, I'll close myself in my closet as though I'd successfully hid. Hold on, Jotomate. Sorry, it is getting a little rough out there. Hi, Jose. Welcome in. I'll try going a little bit more, but it is getting a little scary outside. Okay. I basically always left my futon on the floor. I couldn't think of a real reason my parents would want to go into my closet. Even so, there still might be some reason they would. I might need to construct some sort of camouflage so that it wouldn't be noticed and if they did open it. But the more she worried about that, the less time she'd have to actually hide, meaning it would be more likely they'd hear a noise. Take care of yourself. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. It's okay. It's just like, you know how like when it starts to storm and I think it's really, really dark? It's like that. Like I looked outside and I thought it was midnight. But there's still people driving and walking outside. I'm like, is that just how ballsy Minnesotans are, or should I be scared? Jesus. Suddenly, I had to go to the bathroom. The bathroom? They need to use the toilet, so obvious, yet such a fatal flaw. The only bathroom was the first floor. It would be absolutely impossible for her to use it without my family realizing. I might need to set up a portable toilet, like a chamber pot, I guess. Satoko would hate it, so she could go in my room. But the stench, it would be terrible. Anyone sensitive would probably notice the smell, even without coming into my room. From my experience, Minnesotans don't give a fuck about the weather. Yeah, facts. That must be why that guy on his bike just went across the road I saw. The bath was okay, though. She could just take a bath when my parents were out. But I couldn't do anything about a toilet. When her stomach started to hurt, if my parents were lazing around downstairs, she'd be in trouble. It was then I noticed that I'd been clawing at my head with both hands. I sat down in my dark closet with my knees against my chest. I buried my face in them and tore at my hair. The more I thought, the more contradictions popped up. The more I thought, the more things failed. And the more I worried, the more I was reminded of how little power I had. My back started to hurt from staying in a cramped place for so long. If I was to shelter Satoko, I would need to force her to feel this pain. To live in such dark, narrow, a suffocating place. Forever. But it would still be better than being abused by her uncle. At least that's what I wanted to think. It got hard to breathe, so I gave in and crawled out of the closet. I looked at the clock, and to my surprise, it was 3:30 in the morning. I had felt like so little time, but it was so unbelievably long. -60, I'm gonna wear shorts. Exactly, bro. People, Minnesotans built different. When I realized that, I was slammed with a terrible urge to sleep, as if the time had only just caught up with me. I didn't have enough strength to fight it, and I fell flat on my futon. Shit, I just can't go to sleep like this. If I waste any time, that'll mean I'm taking the same wait-and-see attitude that Mion and Coach and everyone else did. I needed to keep worrying about how to rescue Satoko for a minute, or even a second longer than anyone else. So on one hand, yeah, Keiichi's not being very logical. Isn't there a better way? Isn't there a better way? The one phrase I spoke to myself swirled around in my spiral, and I studiedly took over my entire mind. For the last moment of consciousness, I thought. There was a lot of blind spots in what I considered tonight, but I absolutely wasn't wrong for having these ideas. Tomorrow, I would suggest this bold plan to the others. Mion might not be able to help somehow, and Reina was really sharp, so she might have a good suggestion. And above all, we needed to rescue Satoko once again, with everyone helping. I felt pathetic for letting myself fall asleep. I'm sorry, Satoko. But on the other hand, he's actually testing and thinking of proposing Satoko to go through first. It's a lot better than just saying, yeah, stay at my place and hide for 8 hours a day. It's true. Very, very true. But I do like, because this is the chapter now where we're starting to like get like the, what the fuck's wrong with Keiichi. Like, we're starting to see like what mental issues will arise from this one. Still, I bet Satoko might refuse. True. True, true. She's very stubborn. The ceiling blurred into view. It was hot. There was a thin layer of moist sweat on me. The voices of the cicadas permeating my room were somehow grating on my head. What? Today's not Sunday, is it? I remember today was the weekday, but I quickly brought myself to consciousness, and then I finally leaped out of bed. The clock read a little bit before 10. I was totally late. When I was wandering downstairs, my mom would get mad at me. There was nothing I could do, though. After reviewing the schedule for the school day at a moment, I suddenly rearranged my stuff in my bag. I hurried and got dressed and then went downstairs. What the fuck is wrong with KG? He's a copium addiction. It's true. You're right. Because our gremlin doesn't want people to worry about herself. Yep. Our gremlin wants to test herself. She wants to show Satoko how good she is by not getting any help with this and doing it herself. There was no sign of my parents anywhere. Maybe they went out somewhere together. So that's how it was. My mother had probably woken me up once this morning, and I fell back asleep without remembering. And my parents, thinking I'd gone to school, had left. Something like that probably happened. I went to the front door, and as expected, it was locked. I looked to the right. It was further evidence of my speculations being correct. When I realized that my parents weren't here, I suddenly felt less like I had to rush to get to school. There was one portion of breakfast left in the dining room table. Probably mine. The milk they poured in had gone warm since a while ago. When I realized how hard it would be to sneak food out for Satoko, yesterday I had cried. Well, thinking back on it, food wasn't the only issue in that regard. I wasn't in a position where I could bargain for Satoko by myself anyway. It's such a heavy thing to just save a single person. I'd seen this on TV and comics all the time. Those feel-good words about how you'll save your friends for sure and such. Was that why I ran my mouth like that? Swearing to save her? Because I wanted to feel good about it? No, that's absolutely not true. Because the fact that I couldn't save her. Because I didn't want to think like an adult. Like I couldn't do anything but watch. Had Satoko gone to school today? I immediately realized that this was a meaningless question. Whether or not she did, there wouldn't be a change in the environment she'd been placed in. If I couldn't save her, and no one else could either, then we could pray for a miracle. Are we so powerless? With a vague goal of getting to school in mind, I sluggishly put on my shoes and stumbled out the front door. I had only overslept by 2 or 3 hours, but the sunlight and the air felt completely different from how they usually were in the morning. Well, of course they did. Once 10 o'clock came around, you could barely call it morning anymore. I didn't feel like walking the same old route to school. I needed to ultimately end up here, but it was like I didn't want to choose the shortest route, the most proactive one, to get to school. But put it in a more positive light. Maybe I wanted some time to walk by myself and think. I had to go to school, partly to make sure Satoko was safe, but I hadn't come up with any plans yet. Nothing since last night. So the path I took to the house was in complete opposite direction. If I went this way, I'd pass Reina's house and the dam site. It would be quite the detour. I calculated how long the detour would end up being. Then, satisfied with the answer, I started to walk. Reina had brought me to the dam site a few times. One section had turned into this unlawful, oversized garbage dump, and Reina really liked going fishing for junk there. Without that, she'd come off as completely normal girl, too. I can think of a few other qualities that she could do without, but whatever. The view quickly opened up wide, and I was hit by a strong wind. There was no shelter here at this big dam site. Maybe it was a good thing I came here, I thought. At the very least, it was more healthy to think about stuff like this in a place like this instead of being cramped in my bedroom. I took a deep breath and filled my lungs with the rich, cold air of the unique Hinamizawa. Ring, ring. I turned around reflexively. It was a bicycle bell. Considering where I was standing, I didn't think there would be anyone trying to get me out of the way. They'd ring the bell because they wanted something from me. Hey, excuse me. You're from Hinamizawa, right? Yeah, why? I've seen this person around a few times. Right, I remember. His name, I think it was Tomatake, a freelance photographer who lived in Tokyo. He would zealously visit Hinamizawa every season to take pictures, or so Mio and the others told me. Could you tell me how to get to the Furude Shrine from here? I think I left my map at the inn. I don't know where to go. The shrine from here? I know where everything was in my head, but explaining how to get there was difficult. I was a little irritated at having been bothered for this, but when I realized it meant my detour actually meant something, the feeling faded pretty quick. Daddy? Wow, you forgot how buff he was? Holy shit, he's jacked. is true. They didn't make him this, like, swole in the anime, I don't think. He looks a lot more normal. Or at least the muscles aren't pronounced like this, if I'm remembering right. I'll tell you, but it's a little difficult to explain. I could bring you there if you don't mind. Really? I would be in your debt. Thanks a lot. But are you sure? Did you have something to do? Tomotaki-san finally appeared that he realized how strange it was for a student like me to be here at this time of day. I smoothly told him not to worry about it, then I turned my back and started walking towards the Furuta shrine. Tomotaki-san hurried to turn his bike around and come after me. Sorry. Don't worry, all guys have times where they need to split from the pack and be a lone wolf for a while. Imagine getting that buff from being a reporter. That's the thing, he's not a reporter. He's a photographer. But no, seriously, he is just a photographer. What a free-minded freelancer. It was easier for me, too, that I was under the impression. I'm Tomotake, a freelance photographer. I specialize in wild birds and landscapes. I'm still pretty unknown, though. It seemed absurd for him to introduce himself when I was just showing him to the shrine, but he gave me his name and I needed to give mine back. I'm Maibara. Pleased to meet you, I guess. Maibara-kun. Pleased to meet you. He seemed like a pretty silly man, but that felt kind of good considering I'd been suffocating with worry over Satoko all night. Along the way, Tomotaki-san spoke at length to me about how precious in nature Hinamizawa was, and how his treasure trove were rare wild birds, despite not having been asked. I wasn't interested in what he had to say, but he seemed to be enjoying himself, so I left him to it. These steps will take you to the shrine grounds. Thank you. You really helped me out. I think I'm a little late. As Tomotaki-san mumbled to himself, his left bicycle nearby and started to climb the stairs quickly. I didn't have a watch, but as far as my internal clock could guess, it was still a little late in the morning. School wasn't far from here. Maybe I could kill a little more time until then. With that in mind, I went up the steps in pursuit of Tomotaki-san. Nobody's photography in the game looking at birds and landscapes, apparently. How heavy is your camera, my guy? We'll be taking pictures of bears, right? Just birds. Birds and landscapes. I think in the anime they specifically say he comes to Hinamizawa because there's a rare bird that migrates here. But I don't know if they ever bring it up in the books like this. Oh, it's just a normal camera made of tungsten. It's not as heavy as the backpack lenses, food, water, and weights I usually bring with. But, bro. When I reached the top of the long staircase, I arrived at the wide-open shrine grounds where there was too grand looking in this village. Tomotaki-san. Oh, there he is. It looked like he was supposed to be meeting someone here. Then he got lost and ended up being late. He was bowing to a lady who must have been the person he was meeting. The lady. I knew her. Oh, is that you, Maibara-kun? Hello there. Are you off from school today? What? Oh, Maibara-kun, you followed me. I wasn't really planning to. I just wanted to kill some more time. Oh my. Arriving at work late with an executive. How refined. You certainly are famous, taking the time to look at this big shot. When was I a celebrity? Well, she did say my name out of nowhere anyway. I was oddly concerned about what she meant by famous. Oh, you still can't remember my name. This is Mio Takano-san. She works at the village clinic. Maibara-kun, you seem healthy, so you probably haven't been in the hospital much, huh? Now that we finally are acquaintances, the next time you're sick or anything, I'll suppose I'll give you a little bit of special treatment. This lady named Takano-san. I kinda didn't remember her. Maybe she'd passed each other in the street a few times, but I was pretty sure this was the first time we'd ever talked. But this is Hinamizawa. Even if I don't know a person's name, it's not unusual for them to know mine. I glanced at Takano-san and saw that she had a bag and a camera. Are you photography partners? Was that why you were meeting each other? Oh, we're nothing like partners. The man was like, you even lift and responded with his tiny little 800-pound camera. Yeah. I am but an amateur, and Jiro-san is gently initiating me into it. The way she's talking about it almost seems like she's very aware of what happened in the last arc, right? Isn't that spooky? That's not it at all. Takano-san is a quick learner. She can take pictures just fine without my guidance. I mean it. Haha. I couldn't tell which of them was Holy shit. I couldn't tell which of them was ahead in the conversation. While they were certainly one couple you wouldn't get tired of watching. My god, it's so loud. Look at his hands gripping that camera. I wish he'd grip me like that antimatter. Are you okay, bro? Right? Isn't that spooky? Bro, don't hit me with another red herring like that. Yes, the Ada nurse. Is that thunder? Yeah, a little bit. It's actually getting kind of loud. I don't know. It's like, I don't see a tornado, but it's just like really loud and like a lot of rain. Someone told me once that if you see lightning, it means the tornado's nowhere near you because like the two air thingies can't exist right next to each other. Are there still people walking around? Let me check. No, absolutely not. There's like a river going down our driveway to the apartment. Oh my god. Anyway, looks like they're just sending you some water, right? I think it's still fine. I think. Yeah. Thanks, Mom. Edging here, bruh. Oh, neat. Oh, no. I don't know if it's true, but I also have only ever once seen remotely close to a tornado. Right? I don't know. Someone told me that once. Safety first, boom up. Listen, Bruce, it's fine. It's fine. I promise you. Okay, maybe it's a little less fine, but I still think it's okay to keep going. I just hate it when I have to like split a chapter between different videos though, you know? That timing. Is it though? Yes. Yes, I think so. And here's why. It's not windy. It's like pouring rain and I see some lightning and some thunder. I can't see thunder, but you know what I mean. But it's not windy, right? Like, I would assume I would see the trees whipping around if there was a tornado on the other side. Right? It's fine. Safety first, Bluma! I am the storm that is approaching. Provoking. I'm gonna keep going. I think it's fine. But I do have like one headphone off, so I can kind of listen in case the wind starts picking up, okay? I promise you right now it's okay. It's just a thunderstorm. The festival is finally coming up the day after tomorrow. I hope we can take some good pictures this year. I plan on taking some shots of the setup tomorrow. Probably Virgil fighting Dante somewhere. Yeah, it's true. I assume you guys have somewhere you can go in case of the tornado? Yes, I do. Have no fear. I know exactly where to go. We do have somewhere. It's fine. And then the power goes out. Listen, that's why I gave the disclaimer at the beginning of stream. The stream may or may not end just abruptly. And it's because I have lost power. And or I saw the tornado and just quickly had to shut everything off and get to the safety zone. Hello, Mini-Me. Hello, hello. We're consumed with a mistake because apparently there's a tornado warning. Somewhere, the tornado touched down. I just don't know where. It's somewhere in the county, right? I'm sorry, this will probably only be answered or understood by fellow Americans, but when the tornado warning sirens go off, it means the tornado has touched down somewhere in your county. But this is a big county. It could be anywhere. It could even be nowhere near me. It could. The Minecraft incident? Yeah. A little bit of that, though, was my internet. I didn't actually lose power. My internet just went out. Who needs to know where it is exactly? Exactly. If the wind picks up, I will quickly skedaddle. But until then, I think it's just a thunderstorm, and we only need to worry about power going out. Not like it's important information. Well, right, well, that's also why I have my phone. My phone's not silenced. Usually I silence it for stream. I still have it on, though, just in case, like, I get a text from... Because I have some friends who also live around, so I figured if something goes down, we'd probably alert each other. Boom, I got that nod wind mentality. Naruhodo, makes sense, right? So that's why I hate, like, this is such a petty reason to, like, stay in the line of fire of a tornado, but, like, I just don't like when the chapter gets, like, split up between streams. Like, I did that for Hakuoki, and it really annoyed me looking back on it. But that was also back when I was, like, I just didn't have the stamina to talk for more than an hour. Bloom in the face of the tornado. Nah, I'd bloom. Exactly, bro. Now you're catching on. Oh, yeah. Okay, anyway. I want to capture the festival entity shown by the preparations for it, too. Oh, I just remembered. There was some village festival called Watsunagashi or something. It's the day after tomorrow, like on Sunday. They hold a service with a pile of old futons, and they order to give Hinamizawa's guardian deity, or Yashiro-sama, I think. Oh, you're correct. You have quite the extensive knowledge despite having just moved here. Yes, it is a festival to give thanks to Yashiro-sama. Takano-san smiled somehow, but meaningfully. But didn't tell me what the part of the festival to thank your Yashiro-sama needed to be laughed at. Cryptic as ever, Takano-san. But I do wonder what will happen this year. You know what they say, if it happens twice, it'll happen a third time. And it's already happened 4 times. I think there's less evidence that it won't happen a 5th time, don't you think? I knew that they meant by their whispered exchange. On the day of Watsunagashi, a freak death always occurs, which people call Yashiro-sama's curse, and a disappearance occurs that people call demoned away. These strange events had happened 4 years running, and Watsunagashi, rapidly approaching the day after tomorrow, marked the 5th. The Yashiro-sama puts a curse on the enemies of the village, huh? If it does happen this year, I wonder, who will find themselves at gunpoint? Oh, and I always come here to pray to donate money whenever I visit. It won't be me, for sure. Bro, that music, right? Oh, is that so? They say that Yashiro-sama has been especially harsh on outsiders recently, you know? Mabaru-kun maybe only just moved in, but he's a proper member of Hinamizawa. But you, Jiro-sama, are a stranger, only comes once a year. I wonder, will he let you go this year? That's harsh. Tomataki-san was the only one with a pained grin, but we're all smiling, me included. Yashiro-sama, the one who used a curse to kill the people involved with the dam construction project one after the next. He killed the dam construction manager, killed Totoko's parents for supporting it, and then next year he even killed her aunt. If the demoning away was part of the curse, then you could add Satoshi to the list of victims. As I thought about it. Oh. It's still not windy, but the sky is now yellow. Like Mountain Dew yellowish. That is crazy to see. Oh my god. The music's such a strong vibe every time, right? It goes so hard. Probably these two gonna unlive soon anyways. Maybe FF. Hold my hand, Bluma. Holding hand. Holding hand. See, doesn't that look crazy? Yeah, no, the roommate's out here looking at it too. Like, holy shit. Oh, I know what you mean. I've been there. Before marriage even? Hey, yo. Yeah. Man, which of the plagues was it that rained Mountain Dew? Oh, bro, I don't know which one, but I'd love to experience it. I realized that in the serial freak death incidents, the overwhelming majority had last names of Hojo. Half of the deaths and disappearances had come from the Hojo family. The Hojo family lived here in Hinamizawa. Did that mean Oyashiro-sama punished and cursed them particularly harshly because, despite of that, they had been in favor of the dam? Have you heard the news that Satoko's uncle had returned? Takano-san, who had been enjoying the few words with Tomotaki-san, was caught unawares by my sudden inquiry. Oh, I'm sorry. What was that? Satoko's parents were killed by the curse and her aunt, too. So I was wondering if it went in order, would her uncle be next? Her aunt had a miserable death from the curse last year, and her uncle was left in fear and fled over to the next town, right? Oyashiro-sama doesn't allow people to try and abandon the village, does he? I hadn't intended to be quite this persistent, but those words, they just flowed right out of my mouth without me thinking it. Right. Oyashiro-sama's curse. I didn't believe in something so unrealistic, of course, but the fact that every year unfortunate accidents and incidents happened to the enemies of the village. Like Takano-san said just now, it had happened 4 times. No one could say there wouldn't be a 5th. That's an interesting suggestion. If it is true, that if you look at these sacrifices in the previous years, the name Hojo comes up quite frequently. Given how long it's been gone on for, her uncle being the one to die or disappear this year isn't out of the question. A few days ago, the sky looked like yellow, like super yellow, and I was just like, Jesus Christ, is this the apocalypse? Damn, Keiichi, casually asking someone like that. I didn't believe it, ODing on copium, right? Right? Can you imagine, like, Keiichi just, like, rubbing his hands together meticulously, like, so do you think her uncle would be next? Do you think that's good? Do you think that's possible? I mean, Oyashiro-sama wouldn't let him just leave the village, would he? Not again, Takano-san. Don't laugh about it. It could really happen. I'm sorry. But Oyashiro-sama's curse is my life's work. Takano-san gave off a mysterious yet somehow intellectual impression, and her life's work was as mysterious as its own right. She probably really liked the inexplicable supernatural phenomena or something. Takano-san, you seem like you know a lot about Oyashiro-sama. Give me your honest thoughts. And given that he's a Hojo, and he's returned. What are the chances that the uncle will fall into the curse? My what? You seem like you really want to know if this uncle of hers is dead. That's not... I wonder. It all depends on the whims of God. My Barakun, do you know the true identity of Santa Claus? Huh? I got a strange question all of a sudden, and I couldn't answer immediately. What don't you know? It's your dad. The daddies in everyone's families. What? That's what you meant? Well, of course. Everything ultimately comes down to the humans in the end. After all, humans are the only ones in this living world. All the strange things should be explainable in terms of human actions. I felt like I put it somewhat strangely, but Takano-san was not as dissatisfied with their reply as I might have guessed. To be honest, that question gets even creepier with how it seems the curse manifests itself through the people of Hinamizawa. Right? Yeah, now you're starting to pick up what she's throwing down. Oh yeah. Holy shit. It's like yellow. Like school bus yellow. Oh, it's impressive that you caught on to that with such a young age, but you're right. Strange things that could happen in this world of man were all caused by man for his own benefits. Mabarakun, I'll ask you again. This time not Santa Claus, but Oyashiro-sama. Do you know anything about who Oyashiro-sama is? Takano-san took a step forwards to me and gazed into my eyes as she asked. Santa Claus was really the parents of every family's children. If lionizing that legend was a corporate tactic to try and profit during the Christmas sales, then what was Oyashiro-sama really? Oh, didn't you already say? There are only humans in this world. Everything can be explained by a human action, right? Keep hold my hand, Boomer. I'll protect you. My Barakun, keep this to yourself, okay? This string of freak death incidents attributed to Oyashiro-sama's curse? Takano-san's view is that they may be premeditated homicides performed by the people of Hinamizawa and based on some kind of ceremony. No, don't misunderstand. My life's work is to research teachings, thoughts, and cultures at the viewpoint of folklorism. I don't really care at all about who the culprit is. Just keep that in mind, please. I could tell at least that she was saying some crazy stuff. If I were to liken her statements to a meal, it would be sort of like she just tried to stuff a whole plate of duck into my mouth, and now I couldn't say anything. What a weird way to put that, KG. Oh my god. Remind myself to get the Oast, listen to it in the summer, and give myself chills. Hell yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, no, listening to the summer does go extra hard because it's like every time the loop restarts, we're in the middle of the summer, so I get that, I feel that. To understand that in the first place, you have to go all the way back to ancient times, when Hinamizawa was called Onikakushi, or the Demon's Abyss. The transcendents who lived there believed themselves to carry the blood of the demons, and so were only half human. Takano-san, having entered her home field, leaned forward and began to speak in ridiculous matters. Tomotaka-san realized she was overawing me and interrupted for me. Takano-san, you can't just chatter about stuff like that to my Barakun. Look, he's really confused. Oh my, are you? If you want to hear more, ask me anytime. I have heaps of grotesque stories about the boys your age. They seem to love hearing it. Thank you. If I feel like it, I will. For now, I softly and safely gave my refusal. Takano-san seemed a little unhappy, and Tomotaka-san had rained on her parade, but she stopped talking about it then. Even so, it was still a very interesting story. That Oyashiro-sama's curse, which we thought of kind of some strange freak death, was really homicides perpetrated by the people of the village. Well, I mean, if you thought about it logically, it would have to be. People wouldn't be dying because of a curse. Someone's obviously killing the people and making it look like one. Indeed. As for who it was, it might be safer not to try and find out. You seem like you know, Takano-san. You may not have proof, but it seems like you believe it. Oh my! Why do you think that? I just kind of felt it vaguely. It didn't seem like her extreme passion for this research could be explained by just these things being taboo, or being safe and easy. This person loved walking through a profound forbidden abyss of risks and taboos. Let's leave it at that, my Barakun. I just helped you escape, and now you're trying to talk about Oyashiro-sama again. I wanted to take a nice walk while it was so cool. Tomotaka-san seemed a little disappointed not being able to go to the date he'd planned since I had brought up the weird topic. But right now, there was something I wanted to ask, just a little bit. And that was about whether Satoko's uncle will be chosen for this year's curse. If he was, then another miracle would happen just like last year. A terrible incident would happen again, but it would be released for Satoko and her unfortunate circumstances once more. Well, I do have a few suspicions as to the kind of people who would probably become involved, of course. It's a natural, inevitable conclusion for anyone who has researched the history of Onikakushi village. Who do you mean? What would I do if I knew? I asked that question to the other me deep inside, but got no reply. How enthusiastic. What would you do if you knew? Nothing, really. If you found out, you might get into danger yourself, you know. Maybe the 5th year's curse would be you. Takano-san, toying with taboo, gave a devilish, satisfied smile, as though nothing in the world would be more amusing. She was probably trying to tease me, but I didn't feel like going along with her game one little bit. You like to talk pretty big, but you don't really know yourself, do you, Takano-san? I felt a tinge of irritation at Takano-san's roundabout way of speaking, but those emotions escaped my mouth, like water flowing through a strainer. Even I was surprised at how directly I had spoken on about what I had felt. Of course, I wasn't the only one taken back. Oh my, you're something. You may be just a boy, but you can still provoke people. How unexpectedly rugged. I don't dislike people like that, you know. Takano-san's tongue poked out of her mouth, and I was convinced that it was a long, thin, and had split up the middle, just like a snake's. Alright, I'll tell you then. But you have to promise me 3 things first. 1, not to regret it, no matter what I tell you. 2, not to tell anyone. And 3, not to tell anyone I told you. I gulped firmly and nodded. Takagi-san made an exaggerated expression of distress, gave a dry, vague smile, and lit a cigarette. Please tell me. Who is putting this curse on people? Who is it? Who's deciding who gets cursed? And after I said that, I finally realized why I wanted to know. Many of my classmates were playing freely in the schoolyard. A few of them had just run out of the school building after putting on their shoes and tapping on their toes to the ground. It looked like they had just finished eating lunch. From a time-manipulating standpoint, I guess I succeeded. The suspense. Oh, don't tell me it leaves on that cliffhanger. Oh my god, thank goodness. Yeah, no worries, no worries. Oh, my Bara-san. Are you okay? A few girls noticed me and came running over. It was only natural they'd be worried. You'd think if someone wasn't there in the morning, they'd be out for the rest of the day. Well, I'm just late for school. Don't worry about it. Anyway, what about Satoko? Did she come today? The girls exchanged glances. I saw a thin shadow fall over their faces and knew the answer without needing to hear a reply. Satoko was absent today, too. When all was said and done, after being out 3 days, she'd only come back for 1. And now she was out again. Who knew if she would come tomorrow? Yeah. But the teacher said she got a phone call from Satoko-chan. She said she had a cold. Chie-sensei said everyone could make sure to rinse their mouths out really well. Wait a minute, Chie-sensei. That's a little too thick-headed, don't you think? You're a teacher, aren't you? Why can't you be more sensitive and catch on to the fact that your pupil is sending an SOS? But even if she did, there was nothing we could do for hope for. The most we could do was a home visitation. She didn't have any right to take Satoko from her uncle into safety. No matter the result, it would end up just like the public agencies, with a wait-and-see-what-happens attitude. It would just piss Satoko's uncle off, and her suffering would only grow. Then wasn't saying she had a cold the best option? She's right. Be careful not to catch a cold, got it? You can go now. There's still plenty of time left in lunch break. The girls excitedly scattered into the schoolyard. Oh, Keiichi-kun! Reina was yelling from the classroom window, waving her hand. A moment later, Mion and Rika poked their heads out too. We were very worried that even you would be absent today. Thank goodness! You didn't seem sick. You look pretty okay. I felt a little uncomfortable with her saying that I didn't look sick, but I didn't care much. What happened? Overslept? Well, late is late. Thinking if I said I was late because of the train accident, she'd let it slide? You overslept. Bion was being a bit persistent. Was she going to put her club president cap on and scold me for being late? Well, maybe she didn't have it in it for me, so I briefly stated that she was right. There's still more bento. Everyone eat up. Without Keiichi-kun here, we couldn't have any fun. Satoko still absent, huh? Even Reina, feigning cheerfulness, couldn't stand to hear that, and her face darkened. She called this morning. Apparently, she said her cold came back and she was going to stay home again. She said it might be for a while, too. She must be sad, so we're all talking about going for a visit. What are you saying, Rika-chan? Not pleased with Rika-chan wearing a wide smile as though it was a happy occasion, I threw cold water on her. We know best of all she doesn't have a cold, don't we? Don't ever tell a fib like that again, even as a joke. I'll get mad next time. Rika-chan furrowed her brow and looked down, and mumbled an apology. It's not just you, Keiichi-kun. It's hard for everyone. I know you're not the only one worrying, but none of us can do anything either, can we? That's true, but I got a feeling that I could cause another fight if this exchange went on, so I apologize first. Sorry. I'm sorry, so forget what I just said. It's hard for everyone, right? It must be. It was at least clear, however, that I was the only one who had worried so much about rescuing her. At the very least, everyone else probably got the normal amount of sleep last night. Probably had good dreams, too. They definitely hadn't stayed up thinking so desperately. I know it might not be what you wanted to hear, but right after you get to school... But you were late today, Kei-chan. Did it have anything to do with Satoko being absent? Huh? Mion, what are you talking about? Sometimes, you act kind of foolhardily, Kei-chan. With both you and her absent this morning. I was seriously thinking maybe you kidnapped her and hidden her somewhere. Easy for you to say. If I could have, I would have done it last night. None of them had I really thought about how difficult and clear as day the solution was. I was up thinking all night, thinking until the night was brightening. And then, I concluded that I couldn't do anything of the sort. Don't be dumb. I couldn't hide someone. You're right. Sorry. Mion knows Keiichi way too well. Yeah. Apologize if I upset you. Don't worry about it. Anyway, let's eat some food. I'm starving. I took out my bento box out of my bag. Everyone moved to take a spot for me to sit. My Bara-kun! Did you just get here? I was just about to stick my chopstick in and Chi-sensei came in. Yeah? Sorry for being late. I overslept. What the heck? Even the teacher was giving me that strange look. Well, when you're finished eating, could you come into the present to the teacher's lounge? There's something I want to talk about. Probably about Satoko, I thought. Since I left, and then we went back to the hallway. Eating lunch can wait. Let's go, Mion. You're right. Mion and I exchanged looks, nodding to each other, and got up. It's probably about Satoko-chan. No doubt about it. They were saying she had a cold, but everyone in class knew the truth. I didn't think we'd have reached the teacher's ears by now. I kept playing dumb, so I think she gave up asking me. Revealing the truth to the teacher would only worsen the situation. Was that why she hadn't said anything? Or was it because she was Satoko's friend, and she knew that she was trying to endure it, the trial of her uncle's abuse, in order to get her brother to come home? What should we do? Maybe we should use this as a chance to get a collective opinion? What do you want to do, Rika-chan? Satoko's closest friend, best friend, was Rika-chan. However much I pretended to be her Nini, it didn't come close to the amount of time they had spent together. So I felt like her opinion would be held on the highest regard. I know why Satoko is enduring her uncle's torture. Everyone looked startled and turned to me. Back then, whenever Satoko was abused, she was probably crying and hiding behind her brother. But Satoko thinks that in the end, that's why her brother ran away. Who did you hear that from? Coach, I bet. I nodded quietly. Satoko believes her brother will come back if she can withstand the abuse, and maybe that's why she's trying to push through. But that assumption has nothing to do with Satoshi coming back. It hurts to say that about Satoko, but it's the truth. Everyone hung their heads. Everyone was thinking the same thing. Damn, that ninja's cutting onions here. Satoko probably won't be happy no matter who helps her. She wants to withstand everything with her own strength. But is it really right to respect that? I don't think it is. Even if Satoko hates us for a while, I think there will come a time when we need to save her against her own will. And I think that time might be right now. I told them about what I saw and how I felt in Satoko's house yesterday. Keiichi-kun, so you think we should tell someone? Of course, only after we're sure that reporting it to the public agency would guarantee her safety. Without being sure of that, it could just be more dangerous for her instead. It's a difficult problem. You think we can get a definite response out of the teacher? I had no confidence, but we had to try. Meanwhile, Rika-chan had her hand raised for a while, as if asking for an opportunity to speak. I will leave it to Keiichi. What? Is that okay, Rika-chan? Keiichi is thinking about Satoko more than anyone else here. If Keiichi thinks that we need to tell someone, I have no complaints. Thanks. Mion, Reina, you okay with that? Mion seemed to hesitate, not knowing if she should agree. But when I saw Reina's firm nod, she made up her mind and then did the same. Okay. Let's go, Mion. Right. Only Chie-sensei was in the teacher's lounge. We didn't see the principal anywhere. The schedule on the blackboard under the principal's name said training, going straight home. Our principal's sense of justice was just too strong. Satoko's problems wouldn't be solved with something so vague. Maybe it was a stroke of good luck that he wasn't here. When the teacher saw Mion and I come in, she closed up her curry bento, saving the rest for later. Sit over there, please. She told us to take a seat in the chairs directly in front of the principal's seat. I hadn't sat in this chair since doing the paperwork about being transferred in. The two of us sat there uncomfortably, before a teacher walked over carrying a notebook and a ballpoint pen and sat in front of us. Maibara-kun, you were absent this morning. Did something happen? Sorry, I overslept. Really? I have no reason to lie. She narrowed her eyes at me in suspicion. Now I was sure of it. She wanted to talk about Satoko. In any case, I think you two already know it, but your friend Hojo-san has been away frequently lately. Neither Mion nor I said anything in response. But the teacher proceeded, not minding. Would you happen to know anything? There are some people in class spreading bad rumors. Mion looked down and remained silent, as though we were being lectured. She sent me a quick glance. Everyone had made up their minds. They'd be leaving things to me. Mion-kun? Or you, Maibara-kun? I won't get mad if they're at anything, okay? If you know something, I just want you to tell me. Sensei, can we ask a question first? She must not be anticipating that response. She looked surprised. I don't know what rumors are going around about Satoko in class. But if those rumors happen to be true, what would you do, Sensei? Well, what would I do? If it's true that she's being abused by her uncle, I couldn't just leave it alone. Can't leave it alone, exactly. What would you do? Sensei's eyebrow shot up. Maybe I said it like I was trying to pick a fight. Maibara-kun, I'm being serious here. So am I. I'm also being completely serious right now. Please answer me. If it were true, what would you do? What wouldn't you leave alone? Sensei took a few breaths and then began to speak slowly. First, I'd have to visit Hojo-san's house to confirm the situation. Her uncle might get mad and drive you away, though. Well, okay. Let's say you did meet up with Satoko and her uncle. Then what? Then I'd ask whether it was true. Once I got the facts, I'd go from there. Please stop talking so vaguely. What exactly would you do? Even despite my tone being provocative, Chie-sensei bit back her emotions and listened calmly. I thought then that she was a good teacher. Chie-sensei really did have her students' best interests at heart. But she didn't have the power or authority to save Satoko. If she let her sense of justice run away with her, the situation would get more complex. Sensei folded her arms for a few moments, closed her eyes and thought mentally, concentrating. And then they opened again. There was a strictness in her eyes I'd never seen. There's a law called Child Welfare Law. It clearly states that abuse against children will not be allowed, no matter who it is. So it would seem. Then what? I'd contact the Prefecture's Child Consultation Center. You said just now that it would be turned away, didn't you? Child welfare officers can't bring the police with them in a situation demands. They will not submit to intimidation. How many days would it take for you to contact the social worker and submit paperwork for her to be saved? It would be the same day. Their job is to guarantee immediate safety of children. I know that. That's if they decide there's an urgent need. If they didn't, they'd do the same as you. They'd go from there. Just wait and see, right? They'd just watch. It would make Satoko's uncle's mood sour, and Satoko would be stuck with him there. Kei-chan, that's going a little too far. I'm not lying, though, am I? Last year, or the year before, whatever, that's exactly what happened when the child welfare people came, wasn't it? And what happened then? You and Sensei would know a lot better than I would. I had said too much, and I didn't need Mion to tell me that. I was talking crazy and itching for a fight. I was supposed to be telling her about the situation only after I was sure that I could save Satoko, but I basically told her everything right from the start. She and Sensei looked at the clock, stood up and picked up the phone at the principal's seat. Hello? Put me through to extension 3455, please. Is this okay, Kei-chan? Is this really okay? It was too late. The dice had been cast. Now we could only pray. Thank you for answering my call. I'm Chie, a licensed teacher at the Hinamizawa Branch School. Would Director Watanabe happen to be in the guidance office? Yep, that's right. Something urgent came up, so I'd like to contact the principal as soon as I can. Yes. Thank you. Please tell him immediately. Yes, thank you. The teacher put down the phone and tilted her head back and took a breath like I always did. I'll ask the two of you again. Are the rumors going around class really true? Bruh. Oh, I'd go ask them if they're abusing. Right? That only can go well. Keiichi using his brain for once? Yeah. Facts. Until he isn't. Yes. Yesterday when I went to Satoko's house, I saw for myself how bad it really is. You can leave the rest to me. I'll definitely do something for you and for Satoko-chan. Something. Please stop saying such ambiguous things. Not something. We have to save her. If they end up deciding wait and see again, how do you plan on taking responsibility? While I was yelling, the phone started ringing. Chie-sensei snatched the receiver up first. Hello? Oh, I apologize for interrupting your training. Yes. Actually, it's about the issue with the Satoko Hojo-san. Yes. Sensei waved us away, telling us that we could leave now. Nyon went to leave, but I held my ground. I had a responsibility to make sure she stopped saying such vague, ambiguous things. If it didn't look like she was going to say something substantial, then I'd tell them the truth, even if I had to steal the phone from her. Mochi Mochi? Isn't it Moshi Moshi? Moshi Moshi? Yes. No, I haven't contacted them yet. Yes. I haven't confirmed it, but it seems pretty bad from what the children are saying. It's not just pretty bad. Do something about it. Right now. If you're going to report it, then don't care who you tell. But I swear, if they end up just waiting and watching, I will never forgive you. I yelled angrily at Sensei and the principal on the other end. I wanted to somehow, some way convey to them just how dangerous the situation was right now. Moshi Moshi? Yeah, Moshi Moshi. Wrong letters, Risu. Moshi Moshi. Oh yes, Mochi. No! I understand that. Mochi, yeah, Mochi's the sweets thing. It's food. Mochi. M-O-C-H-I. Mochi. It's the sweet. Moshi. Moshi Moshi. That's hello. Man, now it's just really dark out, but I think it stopped. Hey, we made it through the storm! Ah! I understand that, and I will tell them as much. Nyon-kun, please take my bar-kun back to the classroom. Yes, ma'am. Let's go, Kei-chan. Yay! It's Moshi Moshi. Oh my god. We lived! Let's go! It's true. Made it through alive! Let's go, Kei-chan. We should leave this to the teachers now. You better promise. Until the very last moment, I glared at Sensei. Chie-sensei was being pressured by the likes of me. Idiot. This isn't the time to feel pressured. Now's the time when you give me a firm nod that'll set my mind at ease. Even so, we're already left things in our hands. At this point, we really can't do anything but pray. Nyon shut the door of the teacher's lounge. Ooh, looks like that's where it's ending. Trying to learn to pronounce ch instead of sh because of my state, Sag. Yeah. Moshi Moshi. Yeah. I knew it was Moshi Moshi. You can't fool me. I'm not that stupid. I'm only slightly stupid. Yeah, the achievement that time was ask the grown-ups for help. Save chapter 7, baby. It's a bit of a shorter one. If I wasn't still a little scared, we might keep going, but I am going to wrap it up here for tonight, just in case it, I don't know, it isn't done, and I'm just being lured into a false sense of security, because the thunder is getting quieter. But yeah, look at that. Really ramping up. I will say we're about halfway, if I remember right from what we looked at last time. I think we're about halfway now. Shame we didn't get to hear what that reporter and the strong photographer said. She's not a reporter, she's a nurse. Remember, she's a nurse. Damn Virgil and his storm. For real, for real. Funny how I say it. We're the clown because we can't pronounce the ch. Oh yeah, the ch or sh. Like sh or ch. Do update us on Discord, Mitchers. I will. No worries. Alright, Moppy. Yeah. But, like, I do like how, like, the more arcs we go through, I was worried about that when I first started reading these books. I'm like, holy fuck, I don't hope we spend 3 hours explaining what Watanagashi is every single book, because that's going to be quite a lot to get through, you know what I mean? So I do like how it's, like, it's getting shorter and shorter. Like, the way they explain it, like, they're making up reasons to make it shorter and shorter, right? Like, this time it was literally just her going, you know what this is? In case you're going, yeah, it's that thing where this happens. So she goes, yeah, that's basically it. Did you know that somebody also dies and disappears? He's like, yeah, I kind of knew that. Like, it's a lot better than rather in book one. He's like, what's Watanagashi? What's this? What's that? Duh, 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 duh. You know? We're saying muchachas instead of muchachas. Oh my god, bro. Just a sign of a well-told story. Facts, bro. Facts. There's a reason these books are so highly regarded, I guess. Yeah, like, the only time, too, they go into details is if it's something we didn't learn last time about the onikakushi and the Watanagashi. Just start glossing over those repeat details. Yeah. Oh. Dude, it's, like, dark outside. What the... Does that mean it's not done? It's just like taking a break. Might pass out tomorrow. No worries. You pass out. You have a good sleep. Good sleep. But yes, we are streaming tomorrow. We're gonna be playing Zenless Zone Zero. Y'all get to see my Lycon and how not good he is. But he's doing numbers, but they couldn't be better, and I can't wait for them to be better. You got sick? Aw, man. I feel that, though. I've been, like, coughing and sneezing all day. I'm wondering if I'm getting sick, too. Might be one of those, what are they called, like, summer colds? Finally. Wolf Daddy! Looking forward to seeing what this fan art's about. Oh, Muffin. We'll go into the trading room, and I'll show you his animations. Hell yeah. Looks like you might just about to get isekai'd. Man, I don't know if I don't think I'd be too mad about getting isekai'd, but it depends on where I get thrown into. Maybe if I don't go to work tomorrow, stream death. Nice. Yeah, if you feel sick, you should never have to feel guilty about calling into work. Ever. And, like, sometimes, there was one time I used some sick time as, like, a mental health day. Like, I physically was fine, but, like, mentally, I knew I just couldn't do it. So I did call in for a sick day. Nothing wrong with that. Going into a space with the Wolf Daddy to watch his animations? Yes. Gonna have to mark the stream 18+. It is pretty spicy. Like, they knew what the fuck they were doing when they did some of his stuff. They must have known. They must have. Yes. So, tomorrow, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, Zenless Zone Zero. If I don't see you then, I'll see you when I see you. Have a good night and good evening, lamb chops. Bye-bye.